Not only do these guys give you the best Jazz coverage in the market, they've got you covered with the Mammoth, the Cougars, the Utes, and the Aggies. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Joining us now in studio, he covers the Cougs for KSLSports.com. He is our buddy, Mitch Harper. Mitch, we can see you. You're on camera.
That's so nice.
That's right.
Yeah.
In studio.
Looking good, pal. How are you?
Doing good. Getting ready for another season. Getting to kind of the unofficial start tomorrow for the season with the BYU football media event, golf tournament at the old East Bay course. So ready to kick off another year of Cougar football. Can't wait.
Well, as you go in and get ready for the season, what feels like the centrifugal force? What is everything revolving around?
It all revolves around Kalani and how he stayed at BYU and how he can maybe take this thing to a higher level. I think that's going to be kind of a fascinating angle to see where Kalani takes this with the program, because that Penn State search, that was as real as it gets. Where it gets
crazy.
It's that UCF press conference post game, that final Saturday in the regular season. I really look back on that and think that Big 12 championship game might have been, from a timing perspective, one of the best things ever for BYU, because if he's got another week to just kind of let things marinate behind the scenes and not get much spotlight and not have to go to a mic, maybe he's not feeling the public pressures, and maybe it's a different era. Yeah. So all the timing worked out, and Kalani is BYU football, and I think his early message of wanting to be the Polynesian Lavelle Edwards, he's got that opportunity. Yeah. Even Brian Santiago told me at Big 12 Media Day that he's seeing some things from Kalani that put him now in the conversation with Lavelle, and that would have been unthinkable, really from any coach, but the way that Kalani's doing it in a league like the Big 12 and a stage, like, he's just doing some really great things, but he's got to take it to a higher level. Hasn't really won anything from a championship, hang a banner type perspective. He's got that opportunity with this year's team.
All right, I bring this up more because I want to get it out of the way, and then we can go on and talk about camp, because I hate talking about this stuff, but it is news. Linebacker Ephraim Asiata been charged with DUI. Give us, just fill us in what we know about the situation.
Yeah, he was arrested earlier this month, and BYU was he also presented like a fake name initially to investigators or to police officers initially. As far as the status with the team, that's still under review, and it's been framed with the university having that decision. So probably get more insight tomorrow with Kalani Sitake getting a comment officially from him. But Asiata, talented player, was defensive end, arrived at BYU, switched over to Rover linebacker last season, and probably was going to be more of a second team guy, third team. And I say was, not like it's past tense, but if he's not playing, it doesn't make a dent in terms of the linebacking unit, which is a really deep group for BYU. But still, he's a guy that's faced so much adversity from that shooting at Hunter High and just the road that to become a D1 recruit after that. I mean, you hope that this all works out, and hopefully that this can be a positive story in the end. You look back on it and go, it's something that made him a better person, and hopefully he can work his way back to the football field. And there's been stories and examples in the past under Kalani of guys that have off-field issues that do work their way back to BYU. It's not always a Jake Retzloff situation or a Kingston situation where they're done immediately. But they're kind of waiting on a formal decision, I guess, from the university at this time.
What are the expectations, speaking of the linebacker room, for Kate Uluave and how good that group can be now that Jack Kelly's gone?
Yeah, he could be one of the best linebackers potentially in the Big 12, and I think his speed too. With I think it's just real difference in that linebacking unit, and he was really good in spring ball, even dealing with a thumb injury where he's wearing a club, and Uluave, it just is a really good fit for BYU, and I'm really excited to see what BYU does with him, and having Kelly Papinga working with the linebackers. I just think he's going to be an excellent fit. And I just think the way that he gets downhill, just makes plays. He's just so productive, and that him and Isaiah Glasker is going to be a great tandem. I don't think it's a situation where you just completely forget about Jack Kelly, but I just think BYU, they don't skip a beat. Yeah. They move forward, and they've even got depth at that linebacker unit with a guy like Jake Clifton, who came in from Kansas State off a mission. He transferred over to BYU. I think he's going to be a good player. They still got Ace Kafusi. It's a talented linebacking unit, and they've got those hybrid edge rushers with Nusi Taumaipeau, Hunter Clegg, who could play that defensive end, outside linebacker. They've also got a young guy in Braxton Lindsey, who was once a 4-star recruit, picked BYU over Oklahoma. He was one of the stars of the spring. I would not be surprised if we see him in the 2 deep. So that is going to be a loaded unit. But Uluwave, I think, leads the group, and Glasker's right behind him. But Uluwave is going to be he's going to be a captain type guy, leader of this program, face of the program. He's going to be huge for BYU this season.
So usually teams that have a lot of players back and upperclassmen are fun to cover, because usually those types of teams, win and are successful. Those types of teams, however, do not usually have interesting fall camps. Usually it's super boring, and writers like yourself are searching for any sort of storyline because there really isn't any in camp. The fun camps are when you don't know anybody and spots are all up in the air. So I guess with that in mind, what is interesting about camp? What is going to be the top stuff that you're going to be following?
I think that, how they honestly manage camp, because of all the players that were retained and decided to run it back, do they have the physicality? Kalani will always say they need to spar, they need to hit, they need to be physical. But how physical do you really need to be when you know what LJ Martin can do, when you know what Keanu Tanavasa, when he's at his best, what he can do? You got so many of those type of guys. Even Uluwave, who hasn't played a game at BYU, but you already know he's going to be an impactful guy, preseason first-team All-Big 12 guy. So do you create some more opportunities to really round out that depth and allow for some of those younger guys to get more snaps than you typically would give in a fall camp? Usually it's spring ball. I think I'm kind of curious to see how that's structured with BYU, to how much they balance the rest of the upperclassmen to then creating opportunities to really round out that roster. Because, this has been an interesting year with the roster where you've only got 105 spots again, but there's been no post-spring window. So any sort of, spots or players that are no longer with the team, you couldn't just backfill. You just kind of continue to roll with the guys that you had in spring. So there hasn't been many buckets to pull from in terms of adding new faces to the roster. There will be a few new guys, some RMs, some kind of deep in the weeds type players, but for the most part, the core guys you're going to see on Saturdays, it's the guys that were competing in spring. So having that health, and if you're a team like BYU that has high expectations to get to the playoff, you're envisioning a 15-game, maybe 16-game season. If it really stars align, you got to stay healthy and stay the course for this long grind. That's something I'm kind of curious to see how they manage in the next month or so.
Can BYU win the Big 12 if a star doesn't emerge at wide receiver?
No, I don't think they can. And I think that the wide receiver position is a big question mark. And that is a big story, too, to how they will fare at that spot. I think JoJo Phillips is probably the candidate you look at to be that number one guy. And this coaching staff really believes in him. They've recruited him since he was in 8th grade, even when all the big programs like the LSUs of the world backed off because of COVID. BYU stayed true to him, and that's why they got him. So I think that JoJo Phillips is going to be viewed as that number one guy. He was that in spring. Fesi Sitake even said as much. I think he'll have the pole position in fall camp starting out. Kyler Casper, 6'6" receiver from Oregon. He's intriguing, but there's just no, game film on him, really. It's 4 years of college football. It's just been injuries.
Yeah, you saw the high school dunk video, though, yeah?
There's something to that. He's got that ability.
He's a big-time athlete.
Yeah, he is. But does it carry over? I think that the Big 12, the secondaries in this league are much better this year. And I think that, I've seen many BYU receiver units of the past where, you think they're going to be good, and then they go up again. But when you don't have a clearly defined wide receiver one, it's how did you not get off the line of scrimmage all afternoon? Yeah. So I think that's something I'm really curious to see with this group. I do believe these freshmen, though, are going to be wild cards that could really elevate the potential floor and ceiling of this receiver unit, most notably Legend Glasgow, but I'd also say 4-star Lone Peak prospect in Jaron Pula. I think he's the type of guy that maybe you could say he has the ceiling to maybe be that wide receiver one, but he could also be a guy that maybe doesn't pan out at all this season or have an impact this year. They've also got Tay Nakua, too, who kind of a mixed bag on him. He hasn't really made a dent at all during his BYU career, but he's got flashes, and he's shown in spring balls of the past, but can it materialize in the fall? Kind of waiting to see on that. So that is open season for whoever to establish themselves as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's all up for grabs, and I think that's the way they're approaching it going into camp.
Mitch Harper is with us, covers the Cougs for KSLSports.com. So they really slow played the offense for Bear last year. They rolled it out slowly. You can see it in the numbers. And by the end of the year, obviously, he was doing a lot more things than he was doing at the beginning. What is fair to expect from him this year?
He's got to, I think, be able to have a higher completion rate, around 70%, I think is something that should be a goal for him. I know that's what, Aaron Roderick has pointed to as a reference point that they've looked at in past BYU quarterbacks that have been the most successful over the last 50 or so years. 70% is kind of the target. And in the Aaron Roderick tenure, Zach Wilson, Jaron Hall, 2 NFL guys, they did that in given seasons, and BYU was really good in those respective years. So if he can do that, BYU will probably be right in the hunt to be in that Big 12 championship race. I think, with him too, I'm curious to see how, his deep ball accuracy, if that can become something that's more unlocked in his game, and how much they utilize him in the ground attack. But I think the thing is with Bear is that he has an ability to find ways to win, and I think that's an impressive skill that not maybe all quarterbacks or players have. And, he showed a lot of that last year in some spots where BYU's facing big deficits. I think that's going to be something that's important for Bear and this offense this year, is to not dig yourself a 14-0 hole at a Colorado like they did last year. Get off to a fast start, because I think people are going to scrutinize BYU or any Big 12 team with a fine comb. Like, you got to aesthetically look the part, like the days of the Mountain West and the WAC, where you almost got to hammer teams by huge numbers, which I don't think's reasonable anymore because of how much parity there is in college football these days. But the narrative will be you got to hammer teams, so they got the chance. They got to get out to quick starts, and I think that's got to be something for Bear to get this offense rolling. And I think they got to move with more tempo too. Last year, like you said, it was kind of a slow rollout, very, holding his hand until about the last month of the season. As he noted, the playbook is unleashed this year for him. And even Aaron Roderick said they got 3 or 4 different looks in any given play for Bear. He's going to have the keys to really run this thing at the line of scrimmage, call the right plays if he needs to check out of it. So this is Bear's offense, and he's got the full command. And it's an important year for Bear because, again, we know with quarterbacks, fans and people can turn on you quick. Mm-hmm. And with BYU's pipeline of some promising signal callers in the future, always got to continue to level it up, and I think Bear will do that. And I think that there's going to be some high expectation. I think he's going to deliver on a lot of that this year.
You touched on the thing that I think matters the most, which is he's a winner. That dude just knows how to finish games. He can come from behind, whatever. Do you think he's ever going to be like big arm talent quarterback? Do you think he can evolve into that type of player, which everyone loves, even if they don't win as much?
I don't think so. I mean, I think he's got the ability to be more accurate and show that arm off more, but I think that he's going to be a unique, great college quarterback that can just do a lot on the ground. And I think he's someone that's got the potential to be an NFL QB. Like right now, I wouldn't say we're looking at the future first round pick. Mm-hmm. He's got to work his way up to be something more like that. But I just think that, Bear, he's got a unique build, is the number, the name, everything about him is just kind of like he's a great college quarterback, and he's a good fit at BYU. And, keeping him healthy will be critical because, that Big 12 championship game when he hurt his ankle, I think BYU was still lost that game, but I think it altered things a bit because then he couldn't go deep at all because he was hobbled in that game. So I think he's still going to run. I think he's still going to try to make plays. But I think also, too, Bear has kind of broken out his personality a little bit more. I mean, he's made a concerted effort to really win over that locker room, even though they already had the locker room behind him last year. But the new faces, like the Pocky Finaus of the world, they told me he's going to be the starting left tackle that Bear, the moment he arrived on campus, like Bear's getting to know him, knew everything about him, and basically, taking care of his offensive line, the cliche things with a quarterback, but he's doing everything in his power to really make sure that this whole team is aligned, and I think he's done a really good job of that.
Is there any better? Well, does the Big 12 need to change how it schedules? And I don't even know if it's a bad thing, but Texas Tech doesn't play BYU or Utah. Texas Tech plays Houston out of the good teams in the league, and do they even play Arizona?
They got Arizona and Arizona State in Lubbock.
But nonetheless, a very easy schedule. And I don't know if that's even a problem, right? That's probably the easiest way to get a team into the college football playoff is with an easy schedule. I wish they would have done divisions. I mean, that establishes relationships. So I guess open-ended question, is there a better way they could do the schedule in the Big 12?
I think they got to have 3 permanent rivals for each of these teams. And, when I talked to the Big 12 football director, President Scott Draper, he even noted that they're going to be looking at that. They're already planning the 2028 scheduling opponents. A lot of it hinges on the playoff. If they go to the 2014 playoff, I think 10 conference games is right there. I think it makes all the sense in the world to go to 10 conference games and then have your one required Power 4 non-conference opponent, and then Group of 5 or Group of 6, FCS, whatever you want to go with that 12th game. That would make a lot of sense. But I think if you could get 3 permanent opponents, that would be, to me, the move because, in a situation with BYU, you have Utah, Arizona State, maybe Baylor as well, because that seems like a friendly rivalry. I don't know if you even call it a rivalry, but both faith-based institutions. I think that would make a lot of sense to me because the downside with the divisions is then you sometimes can not play teams home and away throughout your 4 or 5 years now in a college career, and that could be a downside. I think the Big 12 was just trying to figure out maybe if the schedule matrix – because there was just no history with any of these programs, really. So they were kind of throwing darts at a board and trying to hope it would stick and work. And unfortunately, it's created where last year we're hoping to see BYU and Arizona State. We don't get that last year. We get it now without Sam Leavitt and without all those guys that beat BYU in Tempe in 2024. And then this year we don't see BYU and Texas Tech, which everyone would want that game in Provo this year. So hopefully they can find a little bit better balance. And again, if they go to a 2014 playoff, I think then the 10 conference games makes all the sense. You add additional inventory for your TV partners, and then you maybe can create more opportunities where you're seeing these teams annually. Mitch,
we appreciate you coming in person. It's great to see you, pal.
You bet, guys.
You hit them straight tomorrow, huh?
I'll try. It will probably be pretty ugly, but I'm going to be hacking a little bit, but I'm going to have a good time doing it, so it'll be fun.
What's the best part of your game, Mitch? You a long irons guy? You good off the
drive?
Off the
I can get some big drives, but that second shot, if I get like a good 285-yard drive, that second shot's going to it's going to be a mess. So that's my problem with my game, but I can get some big drives. So that's my strength at times on the tee box.
My strength is I'm good in the clubhouse.
I
can order, a beverage with the best of them.
Yes.
It's my specialty. Mitch, we would love all your work. Thank you for coming on.
You.
We appreciate
Thanks, Mitch.
you.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, What You Got Wednesday is next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best sports radio for your afternoon drive is right here. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
What you got Wednesday? What's the deal? Jake's got rules, Ben's out to steal. Bozo takes their spinning around. Flush it down, flush it down. Emo skater Ben with a devious grin. Jake rolls his eyes, lets out a sigh within.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It is time for What You Got Wednesday. We do it every Wednesday. If you're new to the show, 2 5-selection drafts, 1 sports-related, 1 not. And then we put it out on the Talk Snap for a vote.
Christian, I didn't send you who won last week.
I'm glad you came on air and said that because as Jake was bringing us in a segment, I realized I didn't have that. And
so
I was
it didn't go up for a vote?
Oh, I went up for a vote. I did not send it to Christian yet who won.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man. Maybe I won't send it.
I think I won both. I felt like I had a pretty strong chance in, but at least the LeBron one I thought I had nailed.
All right, do you want me to just read them,
Yeah,
Christian,
just
or do you
read
want
it.
me to say
Just
them?
read it.
All right. We did 2 drafts. Pull them up quickly. We did LeBron teammates. Jake, you crushed me. 79-21.
I hadn't won in a while, so that feels good.
And then we did musicians turned actors. You also won 65-35.
Oh, good week for me.
So you had you won both, so I have the number 1 pick in both drafts.
All right. What is today's sports-related draft?
Today we're going to go with guys who had it and then lost it.
All right, so there is some nuance to this, but the idea is players who were on top of the game and then fell off quickly.
Precipitously.
And it could be for various reasons, I suppose. But this is going to be one of those where we're all
do it
over.
based off injury alone.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think I have anyone here who's directly for injury, but there are other reasons.
Is there a number 1 pick?
There is not an obvious number 1 pick. I don't think. This is
I don't
not a
either.
draft I'm glad to have the number 1 overall pick in. Do you have like a way you're leaning? I'm not asking you to tell me.
I think there's actually an answer, but I don't know if it's going to get any votes.
So I worry that this is conflating a little bit with one-hit wonders also. But the number 1 name I thought of was Jeremy Lin, who out of nowhere, Linsanity was the biggest thing. And this dude was playing out of his mind and was awesome. And like actually ended up sticking around in the NBA longer than I would have thought, but was never more than like a backup guard.
No, I think 1,000% qualifies.
Jeremy Lin had it for a minute, and you're like, is this real?
And then
it went on just a little too long for you to just dismiss as like, oh, that's a funny week. And then it just didn't matter ever.
Well, the reason he lost it is the best. The reason he lost it is because Carmelo Anthony was injured, and then Jeremy Lin blew up, and Carmelo Anthony got jealous,
Yeah.
and then he came back from injury and said,
That was fun.
that was fun while it lasted,
Yeah,
but this is my team, bro.
Yeah. I'll take it back now.
And then they went nowhere.
Yep.
No, but that absolutely qualifies. All right. This is the one. This is what I actually think is the answer, but is not going to give me any votes. Is Chuck Knobloch. He went from Major League Baseball's best second baseman.
Chuck Knobloch, KNO.
Look it up, Christian. He went from the best second baseman in baseball. Like the Yankees signed him away from the Twins with a bananas offer.
Yeah.
And then he literally forgot how to throw to first.
He got the yips. He's one of the most famous yips in all of sports.
And then never recovered.
Yep.
And it was the dangest thing.
Yep.
It was not injury. It was not situation. He just forgot how to throw to first. I wonder how many All-Star games he made.
But he was a household name among American sports. He was just one of the guys. You were like, this guy's going to be one of the stars. And then just suddenly was nobody. Suddenly truly couldn't play anymore. That's a very good pick.
He made 4 All-Star games.
And to the point where Christian says who.
And won the World Series.
Rightfully so, kind of asked who. All right, good pick. I didn't have him on my list. I'm going to go with a guy we actually talked about recently. I didn't have him on my list until you just started saying Chuck Knobloch, though he doesn't play baseball. I don't know why this piqued my interest. Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth was the next Tiger, it felt like, for a minute. He's won 3 of the 4 majors.
Yeah.
Now he's like the 60th ranked golfer in the world. You never talk about him as like, does he have a chance to win this major? Like he was it for a minute. And Jordan Spieth somewhat dropped off. He could get back, I guess. He's still in his early 30s, but for a while I felt like we talked about him all the time the way we talk about Scotty Scheffler or Rory or whatever. And then he never didn't have any staying power.
I consider Jordan, the reason I took him off my list is because I don't think he's lost it.
Okay. That's very fair.
You know, I think we've seen a zillion Jordan Spieths, guys that were like, oh, look at this, and then don't turn out to be as great as we thought.
I think that's totally fair.
But, I mean, it certainly qualifies.
Yeah.
Not disqualifying. Okay, now this one has a little nuance, but I think actually is, honestly, maybe the second best answer behind Knobloch. Andre Agassi.
Okay. Yeah.
But the key is Andre regained it.
He did. He
But
brought it back.
He did bring it back, but he lost it. I mean, he went from number 1 to like number 500 seemingly overnight.
Mm-hmm.
He forgot how to play tennis. He had to get himself off crack, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
He dated Brooke Shields, married Brooke Shields, right?
Mm-hmm.
His life kind of fell apart, and then he's one of the great comeback stories in sports history. But he did go from on top of the world and did lose it.
It's a good pick. It's not the direction I would have gone, but I think it's a good pick. I think, and again, totally qualifies. This is a list I thought was going to be difficult. Now I'm worried I'm not going to have enough names here. All right. Christian, I'm curious if you know this name because Jake will. Do you know who Tim Lincecum is? Tim Lincecum, for, 3 years? Giants won, 3 World Series over 5 seasons? I can't remember what it was. It was like every other year. Uh-huh. Tim Lincecum was the most electric pitcher in baseball. He was so fun to watch. He had this long hair. He looked like the young kid from Dazed and Confused, the 15-year-old kid who's hanging out with the older kids. Wiry body, but just electric stuff. Was probably the best pitcher in baseball. I think he won 2 Cy Young Awards. And it disappeared overnight. And Tim Lincecum is this kind of like, was a lock Hall of Famer on his trajectory and is like not going to get anywhere close to it. But Tim Lincecum, I think, is one of the guys who for a minute there was one of the great athletes in the country and just kind of fell off.
You know what? I watched a TikTok on him a couple months ago.
Okay.
I do recognize the name now. The face really once I Googled it.
Yeah, once
hair.
you saw him. Yeah. He was super unique, really fun to watch. Little. He's like 5'11", he's not a big kid. Electric, and then nothing. Weird.
It's funny, we have such diverging thoughts on this. I can't believe I have this one. I'm going to go with Cam Newton.
Yeah, good pick.
Cam Newton, you can pick the moment that his career ended. He was the MVP of the NFL. He was in the stinking Super Bowl, and he did not jump on that fumble, and his career was over after that.
Yep.
I mean, he went from the top of the league to out of the league in like 2 years after he decided not to jump on that fumble in the Super Bowl. Cam Newton.
Yeah, it's a good pick. Absolutely not quite on my list, but was a name that jumped out to me as soon as we started talking about it. Because, yeah, his fall off to where he was like a joke when he was with the Patriots. It's like easy to forget.
A joke.
He was the best college football player for a few seasons, including obviously the national championship year, an MVP, got to the Super Bowl, and a laughingstock by the time he was done, which was not that far apart from each other.
There's only one season in college, but yeah.
Okay, one season, yes. Let's see. How many picks do I have left, Christian? 2 left. Oh, man, I don't want to waste these. I'm going to go with Sean Alexander. And it was a little bit due to injuries. But Sean Alexander was so good. He was the cover of Madden. Now, he kind of had the Madden curse. He was a part of that run of the Madden curse. Sean Alexander was so famous as a football player that they talk about him in the sitcom The Office. Like, he was so relevant as a player that you could drop his name in to a sitcom and people would be like, yeah, I know who Sean Alexander is. I know who you're talking about. And went from 1,500-yard seasons to like 600 yards overnight and then just never he never did the Agassi. He never got it back, which is not super uncommon for running backs. There are other running backs you could put on this list. But Sean Alexander in Seattle in the early aughts, mid-aughts was so good. And then injuries and fell apart.
All right, I'm going to go with Anthony Hardaway.
Oh, okay, good pick.
Penny went from the next MJ when he was on the same team as Shaquille O'Neal, and they're going to the finals. And remember, it was it might not have been the best duo in the NBA at the time, but it was close, and it was definitely the coolest duo at the time. And Penny went from riding high to gone. Now, part of that was injury.
Injuries also.
But it wasn't one major injury per se. It was a few. But he was doing those Chris Rock commercials.
Had a little penny.
Yeah. I mean, truly. He did Blue Chips.
Yep.
Did that movie and then to gone. I mean, remember he tried to make a comeback with Phoenix and just wasn't going to happen.
He looked like the future face of the NBA. He and Shaq looked like they were going to be the best duo in the NBA for a long time, and it just fell apart. Shaq leaving and Penny getting hurt.
I mean, he was probably out of the league. I don't know, what, 2 years after Shaq left? 3 years after Shaq left, maybe?
But he should have been Kobe. He's
Yes.
more of a point guard than Kobe ever was, but should have been you're right, the next Jordan.
And he was that high profile.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah.
He was really good. All right, my last pick. All right, I'm going to go with local because I do not understand the drop off here. Tavion Thomas was unstoppable for about 9 games. Now, because Kyle Whittingham loved to start the wrong guy at several positions throughout his career. That was kind of always his thing. Mm-hmm. And I know Tavion had some off the field issues and was a walking fumble early in his career after transferring from Cincinnati. But his last 8 or 9 games of his first season in Utah were ridiculous. The dude was absurd. Looked like as good a running back as we'd ever seen at Utah, which is saying something. And then the next year came back and lost his job. In fact, I don't even know if he started the first game. He just completely fell off. And again, he had some off-the-field issues, but he was awesome. And you thought him coming back for, I think it was going to be his 4th year, his senior season. I can't remember with the COVID stuff, if it was actually his senior year. But you thought he was going to come back and just be unstoppable. And you basically never heard from him again. It was so strange. So strange. But he was really good.
All right. I've been so on the right answer. I'm probably going to lose the vote on this because nobody's ever heard of this guy, but this is part of my point.
Okay.
Have you ever looked up the players that have hit 50 home runs in a season?
It's not many.
It's probably more than you'd think, but it is the who's who of baseball.
Yeah,
and
right.
especially if you look pre 2005, I mean, you look at these names and it's like Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris. Mm-hmm. And then you get into Albert Bell and Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa and all this stuff. And then wedged in the middle there in 1996, a center fielder who was a leadoff hitter for the
Orioles.
Baltimore Orioles,
Yep.
Brady Anderson, hit 50 home runs out of freaking nowhere. Because he had a needle in his arm.
He had a needle in his arm.
And he decided he was just going to start jacking homers.
Yep.
And then disappeared.
Absolutely
After
disappeared.
1996. Just disappeared.
Yep.
Have you ever heard of Brady Anderson? Exactly.
Yep.
And he was this squirrely, fast, base-stealing second baseman that blew up to 250 pounds and started blasting home runs out of nowhere. Everybody thinks Mark McGwire when they think the steroid era or Barry Bonds. They should think about Brady Anderson. Mm-hmm. That should be the number one example of why steroids are bad for baseball. Because some Weasley center fielder can go from hitting. Look, if you look up his career stats, he's like 15 to 20 home runs every year of his career until 1996.
Boom, 50 home runs. Yep. Oh, I remember him. I was 10 years old. Baseball was having the biggest moment of my life at that point because, yes, the home run chase was on.
The glut.
And he was this weird other guy in the conversation where a few guys out of nowhere jumped up to 40. He jumped up to 50. Yeah. Chris Davis, by the way, did the same thing for the Orioles, but this was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Cal Raleigh, who was on my list. Oh, yeah, well, let's recap and then we'll talk about some of these other names.
Ben, you had the number 1 pick. You went Jeremy Lin, Jordan Spieth, Tim Lincecum, Sean Alexander, and Tavion Thomas. Jake went Chuck Knobloch, Andre Agassi, Cam Newton, Penny Hardaway, and Brady Anderson.
Cal Raleigh last year, big dumper for the Mariners, who went to the World Series. He can't hit at all this year. Vlad Guerrero Jr. has not hit a home run in Toronto this season.
He's batting like 210 or something like that.
Was just electric. There's actually a couple of weird common names right now in baseball that belong in that conversation.
Donovan McNabb.
Donovan McNabb's a very good one.
He got old, though.
He just got old. Do you remember Josh Hamilton?
Yeah.
Now, he actually just had like a crack problem.
He had substance abuse
Real
problems.
substance abuse issues, but was electric as a hitter and like pretty athletic in the outfield and then totally fell off. Christian, do you know who Roy Hibbert is?
Yes.
Yeah, Roy Hibbert out of nowhere, like almost won Defensive Player of the Year. I think
He was great with the Pacers, yeah.
Went to the Lakers and just was a dog. Oh, he just totally fell off.
Andre Drummond was a little bit of that.
Drummond?
But see, this was the difficult part of the pick, though. Did those guys ever have it?
Correct.
At basketball, that gets tricky.
So this is the argument you picked. Who's the NBA player you picked? Not Penny. Somebody who. Cam Newton. I'm sorry, Cam Newton.
Cam Newton.
Who doesn't jump on a ball in the Super Bowl and his career changes. It's Ben Simmons not taking a layup against
Did he ever have it?
But did he ever have it?
Yeah.
Cam did have it. No question, Cam Newton had it. Did Ben Simmons ever really have it to the level he told people he had it?
My answer would be no, thus I didn't pick Ben Simmons. But,
Eric Gagne is why we did this draft. We talked about him last week. He was a needle in the arm guy, most likely.
Oh, I think the steroid era you could find maybe not a bunch, but a few guys like Eric Gagne or Brady Anderson, which were just awesome, and then just garbage.
Tariq Evans.
All right.
Won the Rookie of the Year, averaging 25-5, and then never did anything good ever again.
Yep.
Beat James Harden for Rookie of the Year. Never did anything that mattered.
What's our not sports?
Best pump-up songs.
Hype songs.
Hype songs.
Hype songs.
This is in honor of my daughter Sadie. I put together a playlist for her for the drive to soccer games to get hyped up. Is there an automatic number one pick?
I think there might be, but maybe it's my inner millennial showing. I have the number one pick. I think it's Lose Yourself by Eminem. I think that has become an anthem for people believing in yourself, committing, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, it's what the entire movie is about, writing that song so he will go to the rap battle and actually compete.
It's on my list, but it's a little too on the nose.
It is so on the nose.
All of these are going to be on the nose.
Probably, yeah.
My number one overall pick is going to be Thunderstruck.
Yeah, I've got it too. By
AC/DC.
Yep.
Why
Not
are
on
you
the
laughing?
Not on the nose at all.
No, it is. It is
Yeah,
on the nose,
right.
for sure.
I think you're totally right. Yeah. I can probably save this one because I don't think you're going to pick it. All right, this is going to be my last, the most on-the-nose pick, and that's We Will Rock You by Queen, which, again, is so on the nose.
Oh, there's a reason Queen songs lend themselves so easily to.
They're anthemic. That's what
sports.
Queen does. But, yeah, We Will Rock You by Queen. Again, everyone knows the song. It's easy to sing. It's loud, conveys quickly. We will rock you.
All right, this is my Virginia Tech Hokie fan coming out. Enter Sandman.
Great. They do it in between the third and the fourth quarter?
No,
or they do it before
it
the game?
before the game.
Okay.
It started out as like a student thing to get everybody in their seats
Yeah.
by the start of the game, and it's turned into this crazy tradition.
And it works. That
does.
song rocks. It's a great tradition. Yeah. Good pick. All right. I'm going to go with, this was the first one I put on my list. I love this song. X Gonna Give It To You by DMX. He also was weirdly anthemic for a rapper. Rest his soul. But X Gonna Give It To You by DMX. You could pick a lot of DMX songs.
I'm totally on the nose. Eye of the Tiger.
I have it number 2 on my list by Survivor.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. That's a good pick. It's just one of the
It goes
sports
with
songs.
Rocky, yeah. It is what it is.
It's easy, and everyone knows it, and it's smart. It's writing a hit that you know will be played at sports arenas forever. It's a really smart way to break through. Not to step on. Well, we can talk about it, and maybe the also one. I'm not going to draft it, but there are other songs that would apply. I'm going to go with. I wonder if this is going to give me any votes. I'm going to go with War Pigs by Black Sabbath.
Okay.
Has a great intro also. The same way Eye of the Tiger has a better intro than the actual song for sports stuff. War Pigs, the song rules. But the open is so good for sporting events or a starting lineup or whatever to kind of get the energy going quickly if the whole song maybe doesn't quite fit the hype song vibe.
All right. I'll go more well, no, I'm not going to do that. This may not give me votes, but it absolutely qualifies. Killing in the Name by Rage Against the Machine.
Great song. Yeah.
Man, Rage hit hard back in the day.
The lyrics are not a hype song lyrics,
No.
but the music is hype song music.
And the build-up is
The build-up is great.
Is really hypey.
Yep. All right. I'm going to go with the best intro of any song probably of all time, and that's why you still hear it. And that will be Still Dre by Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. Everyone knows that bass line and the synthesizer or whatever it is. Changed the way music sounded in the early 2000s with the Chronic 2000 and then kind of shifted rap into a modern era.
What now? Let's see, Ben. I feel like I'm heavy on the rock, but I feel like that's kind of where we are. But you know what? I'll go with All I Do Is Win. DJ Khaled.
No matter what, yeah.
Not my cup of tea, but I think it gets some votes.
Yeah. No, I think it's a big one. Christian, what did you have some hype songs?
You guys don't have anything newer than like 2005.
Correct.
I think probably Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us.
Yeah.
Definitely some. I'm not even a Drake guy, but I mean, you ask anybody in the NBA now, they'll all say Drake.
Yeah.
Well, good thing they're not voting on this poll, Christian.
I guess. Well, you asked me.
Sicko Mode. That song.
Yeah.
That
Sicko
song
Mode's
rips.
great.
Welcome.
Mo Bamba by Sheck West is like a great hype song. That's a huge, wonderful hype song. Yeah.
Welcome to the Jungle, I thought.
Welcome to Jungle, great. Yeah, very good pick. Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. That gets played a ton. They've kind of broken through. So.
We're Not Going to Take It by Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
Seriously, the first pick was Lose Yourself, and I'm pretty sure that is the newest song on this list.
No, DJ Khaled was after
Yeah,
that.
DJ Khaled.
Oh, yeah,
that.
DJ
You're
Khaled.
right.
Oh, that's right.
I thought of Thunder by Imagine Dragons, but I already had a song with Thunder
Yeah,
in
you
it.
can't have too much thunder.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
And we're millennials. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, we're 40.
Did we review? Do we need to
Christian
need a review?
Ben, you had the first pick. You went Lose Yourself. We Will Rock You. X Gon' Give It To You. War Pigs. Still Dre. Jake went Thunderstruck. Enter Sandman. Eye of the Tiger. Killing in the Name. And All I Do Is Win.
You might win this one again. You might win both. This might be 4 straight losses for me and Drops.
I don't know, man.
Hey, voicemails? Call in. What did we miss?
Yeah, what did we miss? Download the KSL Sports app, hit the voicemail feature, and let us know. We have a funny voicemail that we have to get to later in the show. I don't know if we wait. Maybe we'll wait till 5:50 to get to it. Christian, it's a mystery. I don't think it's a mystery, but we could let people weigh in. Stay tuned. We'll get to that coming up. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
No crazy soundbite slips past these guys.
I came here for the same reason people go to the zoo.
This is another edition of the Audio Vault with Jake and Ben. On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. It is time for the Audio Vault, the best sound of the day. We have battling LeBron songs today, Ben. And honestly, this is me a little bit behind the times because usually I'm pretty up to date on goofy, stupid songs. But I missed a LeBron song about him being with the Lakers.
Okay.
What is it called, Christian? It's like Man with the Lakers. Man on the Lakers. As opposed to Man in the Mirror, the Michael Jackson.
Okay. Not Man on the
But
Run.
I missed this whole Man on the Lakers thing. And now somebody with Philly has recreated it, but with Sixers lyrics. So we'll listen to a little bit of the Lakers one, and then we'll listen to the Philly one.
Can't wait.
All right, here's the Lakers one.
Feels so good and make a big difference if I could see him play. As I go to my living room, don't know what I'm gonna do if I hear he ain't gonna play. Cause I made a bet or two that he's gonna shoot 10 threes, get 10 reads, and then the Lakers ain't gonna lose. And they got Luka, Don, A. Reeves, and then LeBron, the real big three. They gave up baby because they needed change. And you got to say his name. His name is LeBron James. I'm talking about the man on the Lakers.
Okay, all right.
That was so much better than I expected
So
it to be.
there you go, the Man on the
It
Lakers.
was really good.
Okay, so what's better, the Man on the Lakers or the man on the Sixers? All right, you ready?
I can't wait.
Here we go.
His name is LeBron James, and he plays for Philly.
This one has two
Why is it
verses
so
too.
slow?
And it would feel so good and make a big difference if I can go and see. As I go to my living room, don't know what I'ma do if I hear he ain't gonna play.
Okay, he's just stolen all the
'Cause I
lyrics
made
so
a
far.
bet
Pretty close.
or two that he's gonna shoot 10 threes, get 10 reads, and then the Sixers ain't gonna do.
I like the pacing of the original.
And they got JB, LeBron, and MB, the real big three.
Notice Maxey and Edgecombe not in
They
there.
gave up PG because they needed change. And you guys to say his name. His name is LeBron James.
That's the best part.
Talking about the man on the Sixers. LeBron, I'm asking you to say his name. LeBron James. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look in the sky and say his name. Yeah. LeBron, 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 LeBron. LeBron is who we love, the best there ever was. This time they are realized. Now that the king is gone and he's on a new team, what do we go watching on the TV screen? Lakers had Luka done, but if it's no LeBron, you won't see me. What don't
Well, shot of Luka there.
The Cavs and the Miami Heat, but out of all these other teams, the team they picked was Philly. I'm talking about the man on the Sixers.
All right. I like the first
Well,
voice.
the beat sounds very similar to mine. I mean, it's obviously it's a cover of Man in the Mirror.
But the best part about that one is like what we just heard. LeBron James.
Yeah, he's. Both of these are better than I expected. That is the modern miracle of what we have with technology. I can't help but think
What kind of sick people would actually
what
put the
kind
time
of
into doing that?
weirdo people. The fact that I've now convinced myself in the last 24 hours that this LeBron to Philly thing's going to be a disaster. And how many teams are really happy about their LeBron experience? As we zoom out, as we get further removed from it.
Oh, I think Cleveland is. I
Cleveland,
think
no question.
Miami is.
Miami should be, though. Honestly,
It
there's
didn't
an
end well.
argument that they underachieved.
Yeah, but I still think they.
4 years, they made the finals all 4 years, and they lost to both to teams they should not have lost to.
No, they should have lost to those Spurs. That Spurs team was really good.
It was.
I'm
I'm not sure it was as good as LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, et cetera, et
It
cetera.
was really good.
It was good.
But I put Dallas in that category. Sure, I agree with you. But I bet they're happy. I bet the Lakers are telling themselves they're happy, but they probably aren't.
One title, 8 years.
And a goofy title, like a almost hide behind it title, you know?
There's going to be a weird realization when we remember that LeBron won one title over the final 10 years of his career. That will kind of change the perspective of him. And will reestablish, again, as much as I hate this argument, that Michael is probably the greatest player who's ever lived. Even if LeBron James's resume is unimpeachable, Jordan's is just so pristine.
Say that stat again.
One title over the last 10 years?
Ouch.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's a black eye.
And it was a Mickey Mouse title,
But like
so I don't even count it, really?
Yeah, there's an asterisk.
it'll be weird. It'll be weird how people view that.
Well, we know how LeBron will view it. The greatest of all time.
Single greatest title anyone's
According
ever won.
to LeBron.
Now, his title with Cleveland, beating the Warriors,
Kind of.
is one of the great titles of all time.
No, I mean, it was a great comeback to come back from down 3-1.
3-1.
But, I mean, the circumstances surrounding that even made that one weird.
Mhm.
with Draymond
Absolutely.
Green shenanigans and Steph Curry was hurt and all this stuff. But yeah, sure.
But that's his last great title. And his greatest title, no question.
The man on the Sixers.
Well done to those people.
Really?
I like the Lakers one better.
All right.
But
Stay tuned. Live at 5 next. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.